I am always intrigued when we
Mhm.
talk about DE&I, right? I'm a
Okay.
veteran.
Okay.
I'm a quarter Native American,
Okay.
and you are obviously a female
Yes.
of color.
Yes.
And I would love for you to share, what
Sure.
advice would you give to others on how to get into the environment, how to become a cybersecurity expert if
Ooh,
they're a woman or
yeah.
if they're diverse?
Yeah, it's tough. I'll be honest, and I spent nearly almost 20 years in high tech. And that was a challenge. And cybersecurity is an even bigger challenge because you do have that historical um, high bar of you're going, after those high value targets. So you have to have come from a military background or a government background to really know how to protect people. So there's a lot more gatekeeping in my mind in cybersecurity. I am half Filipina. My mother was from the Philippines originally. I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, which is a 60% African American city. I was part of desegregation, right? Even in the 80s, people think of that as being a 60s thing, but this is a program that went well into the 80s. So I was bused from an outer suburb to an inner city school. So I would never ever claim to have suffered an ounce of the prejudice, even in cybersecurity and technology. I have not encountered the level of difficulty that my African American peers have. And I would never speak on their behalf. I try to share the mic as much as I can, and I try to be very proactive in making people understand that as a half white woman, there are days when I am white enough. In fact, there are a lot of days when I am white enough. And when I am not white enough, I am often not male enough. So I think a lot of what happens is that there's a couple of things going on because you have that military and government and high value security professionals from the early days, kind of passing on some of that gatekeeping unconsciously, and that next generation kind of inherits it. Is that you do not have to be deeply technical to be a really crack cybersecurity professional. You just have to find the right space. And I remember interviewing several years ago for a security program manager role, and the person interviewing me was very dismissive because I didn't have an incident response handling background. I'm like, if you want your PM to be your backup to your IR team, something's very wrong, right? But this person could not escape the mentality that you have to have come through the ranks the way that I did. And he went through the ranks as an IR person, and that's just not the case. And I don't know how to shake people out of that other than, stop looking for yourself in the future. That's not where people are coming from, right? That's not going to happen. Your background was very common in your time, and the times have changed. Take a deep breath, be more open-minded.